From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by Lost Facebook page.
What's going on, nerds, and welcome to this week's episode of the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. That was my intro. Now I'm going to throw it over to the co-host because this was her idea.
It was entirely my idea. Okay, I have a lot of good ideas. Doesn't mean we actually follow through with them. So we're doing Studio Ghibli Fest. I'm not doing all of them. We are not doing all of the movies because that's a lot of movies. So I did the popular ones, at least what I think are the popular ones, and I ignored the ones that will make me cry.
Like Graveyard of the Fireflies.
Like Graveyard of the Fireflies. I completely ignored Graveyard of the Fireflies.
I mean, this one almost got me there just for the fact that I thought we were going to see Mommy and Daddy as bacon at some point.
You weren't alone. Almost every time I watch this movie. And I know the ending.
I have no response for you, AJ.
Hey, you see those rack of ribs? Mom and Dad.
I'm now reevaluating my whole life right here, right in this moment.
So, with us tonight, we have my wonderful husband who got a haircut.
Mr. Pokemon Trainer.
Now I realize he only got one haircut, so I'm not really sure what happened to the rest of his head.
How do you get more than one haircut?
I'm gonna let you think about that one.
Does somebody like fuck up and it's like done? What do you mean done?
Also, being joined by the fabulous Rob.
Hello.
And the elusive Carly, who, you know, appears randomly.
She's alive. She exists.
She's like,
it's not.
You know,
she isn't dead like I thought she was.
What?
You know I had to come out for my Studio Ghibli love.
Hey, so I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in. Hey, Carly. What you wearing?
That disappears.
it's our sweatshirt!
I keep disappearing, but it's the merch. The merch.
Merch.
Get your merch now. You won't regret it. They are super comfy and warm, and I haven't taken mine off, so.
Yeah, you
Probably
should get
at some point.
now. We have our special 3rd anniversary merch up.
I'll be wearing mine next Thursday, hopefully.
Logo was designed by an awfully cool dude, and so you should go check him out. You should
It's
also
only
check out
using
our logo.
sweatshirt.
You should also check out our picture for tonight, designed by the immaculate James Fair. Because you know, I don't have enough things to say about this movie, which is why I probably will be the last one to talk.
So I made a funny joke when I saw the photo, and I was like, a little part of me wanted to be like, "Where's all the blood in the dragon's mouth?"
Yeah. I can't with you.
Listen,
Can you ever?
This isn't Shang-Chi, okay?
Oh yeah, I got that reference. That was good. That was good. So who wants to go first,
movie.
Susie? Because this was my first time watching the movie.
I think Will should go first.
Why?
Because you're sitting behind me.
Why?
All right. Well, I just saw Susie grab Will by the back of the neck, by the back of the pants, and just be like, "Here, go first. Here,
Threw him
shoo,
right under the bus.
shoo, you go."
That doesn't.
Do we need? Do we need to do this Survivor side? Do we have to do this Survivor?
Thursday. This is nothing new.
I'm voting Will off the island to go first.
You're being voted off the island to go first. Come on,
Voted
give us.
off the island. Okay.
Come on, give us a good synopsis. Give us a good review.
Bratty girl got a life lesson.
Was But was she really that
Honestly,
bratty?
that's my opinion too. She was bratty. Come on.
For what, the first 2 minutes of the movie?
Yeah, she got humbled real quick.
Freaking mom and dad turned into Pumbaa.
And on that note, AJ, you can go next.
All right.
So it's about an hour and 25 minutes of chaos. Chaos, the right word? Kind of.
Not use chaos.
I wouldn't really call her bratty. I would just call her a normal 10-year-old girl. Let that
Just
sink in.
being forced to uproot her life.
Well, I mean, you kind of got to go with the family. You can't be like, I'm going to stay here. But no, I enjoyed the story based off of each character felt like they had a story inside the overall story. You had her wanting to get her parents back. You had, is his name Haku?
Haku.
I almost said Achu, and I was like, that's a Mel Brooks movie. He wants to be what he is supposed to be again, and then kind of like overthrow Madam Bitch Lady.
You Baba.
Thank you. See, I suck at names, but I'm happy everybody else knows who the fuck I'm talking about.
What's the
I have
little
a
girl's
question.
name?
Sen?
About her.
Good enough. It's Chihiro, but yeah.
But no, it just felt like everybody had a story within inside the story that helps the plot move towards the end of the movie in a way that does not feel rushed. It's paced nicely, and I wasn't bored for the whole hour and 25 minutes. I really enjoyed it.
I recommended a good movie to AJ. Yay!
You've done it a couple times. Actually, Carly, I think, has done it more than anything. But no, I enjoyed it. It threw me for a loop this morning when I'm like, I've heard this voice before. Where have I heard this voice before? And I literally picked up my phone, shut the movie off. I was like, Susie, where have I heard these voices before?
I immediately went to IMDb, screenshotted the thing, and wrote all characters' names.
And literally the Disney characters. So I'm like, holy shit, that's yeah, that's all of them. Lilo, you had Meg from Hercules, you had Cogsworth, you had Ratzenberger, who was the dude dancing and all that stuff with the weird face paint that gets eaten. Who else? Because there's a couple more. As Susie's pulling it up again, just a photo.
I think No Face was someone.
No Face doesn't actually have a voice.
Yeah, he does. Oh, freaking Haku was Max,
Yeah,
Goofy's son.
That's the one you questioned me on. You're like, I know Haku's voice. Is that Max? And I already knew the answer, but I needed to screenshot it and prove it to you.
And
so.
it makes sense because after I saw this movie, I put on a YouTube video. I think it was like 107 facts about Spirited Away. The American dubbed version or the English dubbed version was directed by John Ratzenberger, John Lasseter, the head of Pixar. So he literally just be like, "Hey, anybody want to do some Japanese bullshit?" Yes.
I
Always.
don't know if that's how that happened, but
It came out fantastic. I would say the animation was so good, they could have been speaking probably any language, and it would have looked like they were saying what you thought they were saying. It wasn't like, it's Godzilla!
It is snowing on Mount Fuji.
No. Rob, do you want to go now?
Yeah, sure. Spirited Away, I think it's my third
To the
favorite
beverage.
of Miyazaki's movies. Rude, by the way, just walking away just as I begin, but okay. I love the animation on this because this was Miyazaki flexing his monster creativity.
Well, I heard monster and I heard and I was like, oh shit, is he gonna say that word? I was like, thank you, Rob.
His creativity in monsters, just like he did in My Neighbor Totoro. But here he goes more into the spirits, leans far more into that. I love the bridge scene where she and Haku were walking across, just so you could see all the crazy different monsters that he could cook up.
My dumbass was holding my breath too.
I treasure this movie. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. And damned if it doesn't have a great message. And the background work.
Mm-hmm.
Just the scenes as like they're on the train or as they're overlooking the forest as they're flying on Haku's back. It all was so stunning. This was the first movie that made me appreciate backgrounds. Because before it was just all, oh, I'm just gonna look at the characters. The characters are where everything's at. So the artistry here is Studio Ghibli, close to its finest.
Did you also know that? Oh God. Director's name.
Miyazaki.
Thank you. Like I knew how to say it, I just didn't want to screw it up. Did you know he's got a thing for Audi vehicles, and that car at the beginning is a 4-wheel drive original Audi V6. And like
Yes, I did because of Reggie.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Designated car guy.
That's why I put it in there, because I saw
And
Rob, and he's like, Reggie would get a kick out of this.
And I will know. I usually watch my Miyazaki movies in sub. This is one of them. Mostly because I think the voices hit harder in Japanese for this. I think. But other ones, most of the other ones, I'll go dub. This is the one that I had to choose sub for.
Okay. All right, Carly. I think the stage is set for your wonderful return.
Well, thank you. So in terms of this movie, this was one of the first Studio Ghibli movies that I've ever watched. It's also, I've never watched any of the Studio Ghibli movies in English, so all mine is based on, the original Japanese voices and such like that. What I really loved about this breaking me into the movie scene of Studio Ghibli is just the art style in all the movies. And this one especially, like I have a wallpaper behind me where they put so much detail in the environment around them, but make the characters with enough detail but simpler, so you can take in the scenery and you can take in everything and almost feel like you immerse yourself into the movie. And one of my favorite scenes is when they are in the they're in the train car with No Face and this lovely lady. Totally spacing on the name, it's fine.
Sure.
It's just the detail in the water and everything about it I loved it. It was like I was immersed into the movie, like I was sitting there with them, and it was really good. I just love the movie. Besides Graveyard of the Fireflies, but that's besides the
That's
point.
a really good point, Carly, because I'm happy you brought that up, because I really enjoyed how they had still moments while everything else is moving around them. You had that with the car, and you had that with the train, and you had them while Sen was riding Haku. You have everything around them doing everything else while you just have the characters being still. And it shows how much detail is actually in the environment, in the world, because you're not actually focused on the characters there. You're focused on the journey they are taking.
Right. And I felt like this movie had a lot of life lessons. Like, I know we stated that, she was kind of bratty, but what 10-year-old isn't?
Thank you!
And also, she was going through a lot of life changes, but the
I know
other
one
character
10-year-old that is really bratty.
the character that I also found super bratty, which I
11-year-old.
think was reflecting her, was No Face. No Face had a lot of tantrums throughout this movie.
Yeah, but she
And
didn't
I
eat
kinda-
anybody.
No, but I think it's that she was so there was a lot of life lessons in this, and that she missed her family, and realizing that she would miss them if they were gone, and that she's very lucky to have them. And when the parents turn into pigs, and towards the end of the movie, all she wants to do is get back to them. So I thought that was a very important lesson in that movie, and I love this movie. So that's my take.
All right, Susie, batter up.
So, the train scene that Harley's talking about is the subject of a lot of T-shirts and memes.
It is.
So basically, if you've never seen this movie, you would recognize the train scene.
100%.
I wish I was kidding.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Fine.
I'm just gonna get another drink. Go ahead, Susie.
This is the first movie I had ever seen by Hayao Miyazaki. It is not my favorite. It is up there, but it is not my favorite. Part of the reason I love it is how the story flows.
Mhm.
You're immersed in a world that is not reality, and it's an interesting take on what happens to a river when it's all dried up. Where does the spirit from that river go? So I love that they were able to kind of incorporate like beliefs that a lot of people have, where the river is a spirit,
Shinto.
lakes are spirits, like, so that was kind of awesome. I particularly love No Face, because he's a child. He thinks he can get whatever he want by just paying money, and like, just Sen helped him, but
Do
now just
do you think No Face was a representation of Sen's behavior, and to correct herself, she had to correct? No, to correct No Face, she had to correct herself.
no.
Oh, I
feel like
do.
I feel like they're two different entities. Because
I think it was inner turmoil for her.
I can
Like
see
she had two sides to her. One that she battled, like you notice in the beginning of the movie, she doesn't really speak her true feelings to her parents. She does complain, but I feel like she's holding back at the same time. But I'm also an artist, so I over analyze things.
I see it. The only reason I would disagree is because I feel like Sen is being faced with challenges, and that's her challenge, is to overcome a creature that has similar personality to her. Throw a tantrum when you're not getting what you want. Let's just keep acting like a child, and you're gonna be treated like a child. So I think I can see where somebody would think that that's her inner turmoil, but for me, they're two separate characters. They're not intertwined at all until the end of the movie, where they're friends. There's a semblance of friendship there. I do have to say I like the villain in this movie.
So speaking of which, the old lady, do you know who Baba Yaga is?
Baba Yaga.
Yeah. She reminds me of her.
Yeah.
I for those who don't know, Baba Yaga is a Slavic folklore cryptid, which cryptid is like Yeti or Sasquatch. She would eat children.
Dan?
And she
Not
had chicken
Dan.
legs and stuff
Never
like
mind.
that as well.
But yeah, I
yeah.
feel like that was kind of the point. To an extent, where because she's magical, and she controls you by using your name. She has your name.
Yeah.
And so I like the twist on this, where she doesn't take Chihiro's whole name. So Chihira's now being able to remember her name. She can say her name, and that gives her power. This whole world is about your name and what power it gives you.
Yeah, but isn't that the culture too? Isn't Japanese culture have to do with your name?
That's a lot of cultures. It's status.
So
It's your status is based on your family name. Or in the feudal
the only thing
way back in the day it was.
is really it depends on who you talk to and like what area you grow up in. But a lot of people feel that to give somebody your first name is a sign of not only respect, but it's also a sign of trust. So most people would call, but you by your last name. That's what everybody knows you as, is your last name.
Mm-hmm.
If you're being called by your first name, that means you've given that person power over you because you trust them.
Mm-hmm.
You trust them to use it wisely. And I think that's kind of the lesson here, is to trust, watch who you trust.
Or be named Nanashi.
Yeah.
So before we transition into our next segment, anybody got anything else for Spirited Away?
No, I just thought the Baba Yaga thing was really cool because I just thought of that, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I did like the steward that she was bunked with.
Yes, I did too. I have no clue who she is, but she's Megara in Hercules.
Yeah, but I really liked her.
Yeah.
I just liked a lot of the characters in this movie. They're just very well done, I thought. It's just much you could love about this.
It goes back to what I said before, and I don't know how many people agree with me. Every character has its own story to make up this whole story. Like, everybody has a job to do, and you see everybody do what they need to do to get to the end result.
Oh god, I love the boiler guy.
He was hilarious.
Can we talk about sprinkles?
They're just not a side character, is what I think you're getting at. Like, that they have meaning. They're a full personality,
like,
and they're
even
not just some side character that we barely know about.
Sen is the main character, but the characters around her have more gravitas than just a throwaway side character. Like, you care about all of them.
That's a lot of Hayao Miyazaki's films, though.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
There's a lot. There's a main character, but a lot of the characters, it's part of the reason I think I love his films so much is because his side characters have their own story. They add to the development rather than, take attention away.
I agree with that. And a lot of creators, story-wise, aren't able to do that and do it so well.
Yeah.
Because if you do it too much, it's you can't follow. But he does it so smoothly and it flows so nice that it's just, I care about all these characters and I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, same thing. They're doing the hula dance.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing that I would touch on is the effects, because we talked about how all the scenery and how all of the animation like really flows well together, but I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about how Haku transforms into a dragon and transforms back into a human, and the blood and the little paper dudes, and just those little tiny pieces of animation that they could just whip right off, and it's great effects. Like, it's detail that you don't expect.
Yeah, I think Carly said it. The background is a different resolution than the characters, so when that stuff happens, it intertwines with the background. Like when he goes from dragon to human, you know, you can see the like sorry for the sound effect, but you know, for you audio listeners, you can kind of just my hand movement there.
But like you see all the scales moving, you see all of the different, you see all the waves and everything else like that.
But that brings me up to it's a 2D movie with 3D aspects in certain moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's when they use the 3D the best. When the scales get ripped off, the blood dripping from his mouth. You know, some of the shading is all 3D rendered.
Well, also take into account that this movie was produced in 2001.
Yeah, which
And could hold up
these
today.
movies.
Yeah, it does hold up today. It's not that it could, it does.
And it's not just this
reprinted.
movie either. He has a movie made in 1988 that is just as beautifully done as this one. And it's
I'm
just
sorry,
like,
I'm going to trump everyone because next week we were talking about his first movie ever. Nausicaa
Oh.
and Valley of the Wind.
Is it a good one?
Yes. It is my favorite.
Am I going to like it better than this one? Because I really like this one.
I don't know that you're going to like it better than this one. I love Nausicaa better than this one.
Nausicaa's very, from what I gather in my information thing, very hit or miss. It's either like one of your favorite or it's like mid.
It's literally my favorite. I did find
I just saw Susie die a little inside.
there's an entire he wrote an entire 2 volumes. Like I have them. They sit on my bookshelf. I'm almost done with them. About Nausicaa. Like Nausicaa is based on something he wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes me love it even more.
That is awesome.
So, most of his movies did get converted into mangas after, or they were written. I think a couple were written before, but most came after.
Really?
Or not, most of them are not manga. He's correct mostly, but they're also not made into manga.
Mm-hmm.
A little off topic, but do you know Junji Ito, right? And how a lot of people compare him as the complete opposite of I want to pronounce his name right. Rob, what to pronounce his name?
Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, Miyazaki. He they're like day and night.
Yeah.
And I find it funny that, Junji Ito, his manga comes out first and then the movies and the shows, and then Miyazaki is the opposite. He does all the movies and stuff and then his manga comes out, and I'm just like, they really are opposites.
Yeah.
But they're great. I love
The
them
only
both.
one though that I know for a fact does not have a manga is Hell's Moving Castle.
I think it should though.
No.
But that's just my opinion.
Nah.
No. It is based on a book. Please do not make a manga out of it. It is actually based on a book.
All right. So are we ready to transform into our next segment?
Yes. AJ is going last.
This is bullshit. This is my show, and I'm well. Okay, fine. Home team does usually go last, so you.
I mean, keep it up. I'm gonna go last again.
Hey, I just motherfucker. Just damn it, Susie.
Okay, so The Little Mermaid is coming out into theaters.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm going last. Got it. Cool.
Now AJ's all cool with going last. Gotta love that, right? And as AJ pointed out to me, because I don't do a lot on social media anymore, there is a lot of backlash coming because of who is cast as Ariel. And one of the things that I'd like to note, and then we'll get to everybody else's opinions and thoughts on the whole subject, is that I think a lot of people forget that this is fiction.
Mm-hmm.
This is not based on a true story. This is not, we have to stick true to what the animation did. That being said, I personally think that Disney should always cast the people that are correct for the role. Do I disagree with some of the things that are happening in The Little Mermaid? Abso-freaking-lutely. Scuttle should not talk underwater. That should not be a thing.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't. He's a fucking bird.
Orange. It should be red. Should be flaming red. Because she's the Red Sea. But other than that, I've got no complaints about The Little Mermaid. Flounder looks a little weird, but but everybody's got to remember that, like, yes, it takes place in like Dutch country, but that doesn't mean that the person needs to be white. It just means that it's fiction. It's a
Oh
work.
shit, my blood is boiling. Okay.
It's a work of art. I mean, if you're gonna start that, then you should have started all of this when they reproduced Cinderella and casted Brandy.
I love that movie with Brandy in it. Yeah,
with Brandy in it.
that was such a good
A whole
movie.
lot of backlash then. I really don't feel like there should be backlash now. Go watch the movie, form your own opinion of it. It's either gonna be good or it's either gonna rock or it's gonna suck.
And when it was first announced, and this is just my little thing, I'll have my big blow up at the end. When it was announced, everybody had an issue. Then the lull happened. Now that it's going to come out in the next couple weeks, everybody's blowing it back up again.
And like I told you in our chat, we're going to have the same discussion when the Blu-ray comes out. So you got to one and done this because we ain't doing this every time.
No, I just think people need to be bigger people and shut the fuck up.
It's not going to happen.
All right.
Just let the rabble-rousers have their say and ignore them. They'll go away.
Anybody else want to throw their 2 cents in before I go get my gasoline in a match?
I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
I don't like any of the live action remakes. There you go. They shouldn't have been made.
There's only one that I will say should never have been made. Two.
There's one I say they should make, and they're not going to do it because they're cowards.
All right, which one?
Atlantis.
Treasure Planet.
Oh.
Oh, not the one.
Oh, yeah, Treasure Planet. They remake Treasure Planet. There are 2 that I will say absolutely suck as live actions.
Lion King.
No, Lion King was so good.
Just watch the animated. It's the exact same thing. Every line except Beyonce's new song.
No, except for
all the music's
Hakuna
new.
Matata. Hakuna Matata is different too.
Yeah, a little bit.
All of it's new. Yeah, no, none of it's the same music. I listened to the whole album 3 times.
Yeah, but the screenplay is almost word for word of the animation.
Well,
Yes.
why?
Screenplay.
Yeah, but I think what they were trying to do is keep it, but make it more realistic. If that makes sense.
I was okay with Cinderella. How much they changed with Cinderella, because it's still the same premise with not the same screenplay, and I was okay with Beauty and the Beast. Same premise, different screenplay, and still followed the same beats. Lion King, if you take script A and script B and not know which one's which, you're gonna think they're the exact same person, or the exact same thing.
But wasn't it done by the same director?
No.
No.
They're done by 2 different directors.
Oh.
The director who did The Lion King also directed Jungle Book, which is why he was picked for Lion King. And he does amazing work. He's directed most of the Iron Man movies. Like, he is fantastic. He's now doing The Mandalorian.
Oh, Jon Favreau.
I will never say anything bad about him. Okay, he did an amazing job.
He's single-handedly saving Star Wars.
I honestly that
you killed AJ.
some live action, they need to make changes to keep it fresh for the growing, like the new generation. And I don't feel like they did that with Lion King. If anything, they ruined a couple aspects that made me very, very sad.
I agree there were certain parts I didn't agree with on the new Lion King, but I feel like people expect too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's exactly,
and that's what ruins it for a lot of people, is they're expecting something for a realistic movie, real life movie that was animated, which when you animated, you have more freedom with movement, certain aspects of the storyline that you can't achieve with, now you can because of CGI, but that wasn't the case with where a lot of these live actions occurred. In terms of the Ariel, I just think people are looking for things to be mad about. Like, I understand, like, you grew up with, a white Ariel, but doesn't mean we can't, go with the times. Like, things And also, like, to say that she can't be black, that's dumb. I'm sorry. But, like,
That's why the only issue that I have with the current Ariel, and it's an issue with the costuming department, not an issue with the Ariel herself. It is literally her hair is orange.
yeah, they screwed up on that one.
The hair is orange. I could deal with everything else, but the hair is orange.
I also find that people are quick to judge the movie just because of who's acting. And in this case, they were ready to bash the movie before they even saw the acting. So for me, it's more of the acting and if they deliver the story. Like,
have
you know,
Aquafina as Scuttle, David Diggs as Sebastian. I will think of Flounder in a little bit. Like, we have an all-star cast, and there's a new song that was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda in the movie. Like,
love him.
what? Come on, somebody find.
I know, it's just about. It's like we already have enough to hate in the world with the amount of war. Why do we have to find war in movies? Why? Why are you taking things that people enjoy and trying to ruin it? You know, that's
because
it's sad.
Twitter can't be trusted.
We need
What
to
can't
nuke
be
Twitter.
trusted?
We got to nuke Twitter.
Elon Musk stepped down as CEO.
Okay, he says that.
I mean,
He hired someone for
I
CEO.
still think social media
Yeah,
is the
he does
worst
that.
thing ever made.
The puppet strings are still there. They're not going away.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
So is it my go?
I guess it's your go.
Okay, so
Whoop.
moving.
Take cover.
His protection. I'm just gonna sit here and rein him in occasionally.
Gotta move the mic back a little bit. All right. So you might have heard this before. Back up about 3, 4, maybe 5 months. Hey, if you want to be racist, go be racist over there with your own kind.
I don't think people are being racist, though.
I do.
They are.
I don't think this is about racism.
Okay.
I think you're reading a little too far into people's complaints.
No, there's straight up racism going on with this movie. There's straight up racism.
Okay, that was point A. Here is point B. Ariel is a fictional character made up by Disney in an animation from 1989.
Hey, Carly, why do I feel like AJ's reiterating what I already said?
That's why I also said you might hear some of this before. Disney, what they should have done, and what I think they did, was get Halle Bailey. She's probably the best Ariel for the job. Leave it at that. Has Disney strayed you awry before? Yes, everybody has. But usually when they make picks for a standout character, Emma Watson as Belle. Throw out other ones. The beautiful woman who played Mulan. Their casting isn't the fucking issue. It's the other stuff. So if you want to bring in, you don't like who they have, cool. Leave race fucking out of it. Just because she doesn't look like the damn animation, leave it the fuck out of it. It's that simple. Watch the movie, don't watch the movie. You still have 1989. People just need to get the fuck over themselves. Okay.
On that note.
I was a lot tamer than I wanted to be.
I'm happy it was a lot tamer than you wanted it to be. Because I don't have a mute button over here.
I do, and I was pinging pretty hard, and I put the mic way far away.
Uh-huh. I think Edge needs to do rants once in a while, and I need to have control of the mute button.
I don't know if I can give you control, and if I can, I'm probably never getting it the fuck back.
You can make her an administrator or a co-host on Zoom, and she'll have access to mute.
Yeah, but that's power.
Or is that WebEx? I don't remember.
I don't know that I should trust it with that power.
You guys are coming through via Zoom. While you guys can hear me through Zoom, my mic is being recorded off of my end.
Gotcha.
Yes. But also, I don't know that he wants me to have that kind of power.
Power.
I'm a little. I'm crazy.
That's a fucking understatement, Susie.
Hey AJ, I have an important question for you.
Shit, I set myself up for that one. Okay.
Crash Bandicoot, yay or nay?
I love the series. Very upset. Was that the creator or the voice?
I believe that was the voice.
That was really upsetting because that's another check off the childhood, list of people no longer with us. Crap.
My husband just started crying behind me.
Well, I'm drawing a blank. Is it Brendan O'Brien?
Yes.
Oh shit.
I also posted it in Discord for your amusement.
Well, I am going to
Your
go
amusement.
over there now. Oh yeah, there it is. That was really depressing. That happened Monday, so that's kind of a kick in the dick. But dude, nothing beats Bob Saget for me.
No, nothing. No, there has not been a thing that has beaten Bob Saget or Stan Lee.
Stan Lee crushed me.
When
Okay.
Steve Austin, no, not Steve Austin, freaking Crocodile Hunter died.
Steve Irwin.
Oh, Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
And then, okay, I lied. Alan Rickman kind of got me, and so did Black Panther.
Yeah.
Black Panther, yeah, that hurt. Because I watched Black Panther and I just like cue the tears.
Anybody want to say anything about Crash Bandicoot and the wonderful voice actor?
Those are fun games.
I haven't played that game really. I played it like once or twice and I didn't really know the guy, but rest in peace.
I mean, he outside of Spyro, I think he was the PlayStation mascot from like what 95 on, something like that.
I didn't start playing him until I was an adult.
Yeah, I didn't start playing games until I was in high school.
I think between Spyro and Crash, Will has seen me get mad at video games more often than I've ever get mad at video games in my life.
Raised on Spyro and Crash and Mega Man Battle Network.
Get out of here with Mega Man Battle Man.
I don't want to talk about how many PlayStation remotes I broke and my father broke trying to get through the Spyro games.
I have never broken a controller.
I never either.
It was more my father. This was back in the day where you would print out logs on how to beat levels.
Yep.
And maybe a controller a week getting through those Spyro games.
Imagine doing that now. God, you would need a mortgage.
Yeah.
Like he turned into Rob Gronkowski with those freaking controllers.
I would want them to come out with Finding Nemo just so I could beat Finding Nemo.
What?
Yeah, that kind of threw me through the loop.
What do you
You
think?
guys grew up on Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. I grew up on Jungle Book, Dance Beats, Finding Nemo, Harry Potter. I can keep going. Oh, Pac-Man.
We don't
Pac-Man, Harry Potter, and
we don't need another Harry Potter game, Susie. You just fucking kill everybody. Just better get down here.
Wait, can it be VR so I can actually do that?
No.
Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, Susie is going to just kill everybody. She's just going to hit the drop nuke button.
Hey,
You know
Will.
what game that is forever my favorite and I kind of grew up on?
What?
Doom.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I mean,
SimCity 2000.
Also, Grand Theft Auto. I played a lot of those games.
No wonder why Carly is the way Carly is. She
Our
kills
good boy-
everybody.
or our good boy.
I
Duke.
literally, my favorite thing to do when I was angry was, if I was having a bad day, not angry, was drive tractor trailers off a cliff into the ocean.
I
And
didn't know.
also, I would see how far.
I never played Duke Nukem.
So yeah, I'm kind of crazy. It's fun. Only in video games, though. I promise.
Kinda crazy. Kinda crazy.
I thought you were here. You just jumped.
Hey,
I surprise you every time, don't I?
yes. I have very sad news to report for you.
Oh
Ruh-roh.
no.
How many of you are Star Wars fans?
I am.
How many have always dreamed to stay in a galactic battleship?
I have.
Not for $6,000 a night.
Do that. We can no longer do that. Disney is closing it. It was too expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
Why did they
$600
make
for
it so
2 nights.
expensive?
Because it's
Huh?
all inclusive.
Yeah, it's all inclusive.
All your food, all your drinks, your one
Oh,
park
gotcha.
day,
Yeah.
and you actually get missions to do while you're at the hotel.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but $6,000 for 2 days.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. If anything, that's like maybe 4 or 5 days
Yeah. Pretty
for
much.
6,000. Like, come on. Who's
It's,
gonna?
it's like
Disney's expensive already. You're just gonna make
yeah,
it
but
work
they're
for
not
everybody.
that expensive. Just because they put the Star Wars name on it, they're like, we can charge like $3,000, $4,000 more dollars.
$6,000 for a normal Disney vacation is 2 people for like just about a week at an all-star getting like 5 to 6 park days.
What? No, that's at a moderate
That's
with
at a
like another
That's
with like
at
a child or two.
Correction. You know, I was undershooting just to be on the safe side because I was doing rough math in my fucking head.
That's also still way expensive. I'm sorry, but that's
No, so it was all inclusive, and I think part
Carly
of their
just want-
thought process was they had to pay for the new like resort, and they thought people would pay it.
not
Which
in this economy.
People did, but my cousin asked me, she's like, "Do you want to stay in the new cruiser?" And I was like, "No, not for that price." Do I want to? Absolutely. Can I just go walk through it? I'll just walk through it.
Negatory,
like-
Ghost Rider.
You're not even allowed to resort hop to it unless you are staying there. You cannot enter it.
There's also no pool.
There's no pool. But
Oh, that's a downside.
it is right off of Galaxy's Edge, so
It's a 5-minute flight ride. It's literally a bus that simulates you flying that just circles the parking lot to Galaxy's Edge. Because they're that close.
so yeah, that's closing. I'm sad, but I'm okay with it.
I feel like they're gonna use stuff from that in Galaxy's Edge.
They probably will. But
But then again, I want a Tower of Terror hotel before anything.
That would be cool.
I want a Haunted Mansion hotel, but
No, I wouldn't sleep.
Why? You already live in Connecticut.
Bum bum.
Yeah, but I don't have to look down a hallway just stinging a lantern just floating there. That would literally be like a...
Being Connecticut
be your
being one
wife
of the
at night.
oldest states in the country, it's also one of the most haunted.
God damn it,
So
Rob.
have fun with that knowledge.
You're in Maine. You're no
that
better.
knowledge,
You're
it
near
doesn't
Stephen
bother
King.
me.
Say hi to
Stephen King is God.
Say hi to
Okay.
Pennywise for me, Carly.
He's
I
our
had-
God.
I had an aunt who was obsessed with all things haunted. I think she still is. So I learned more about the hauntings in Connecticut than I ever wanted to learn, and I'm just fascinated.
All right.
I love
What's our
ho-
next
horror stories.
What's our next topic?
I have to turn to my husband for this one because he's more knowledgeable about it than I am.
Oh, he's Pokemon homing us, isn't he?
He is Pokemon homing us. And the most that I can tell you about
Pokemon
Pokemon
Home.
Home is that it will now be available for Scarlet and Violet, and that you can, if you link your Scarlet and Violet, you can get these 3 starters with their hidden abilities. Did I get that right?
Apparently, we didn't have to ask Will. You just took care of it.
Did I get that right?
Pokemon Home. will
You have
be
to talk
available.
about funny.
You just said shut up without saying shut up. All right,
So-
Will's about to die.
Oh yeah, I'm counting my remaining minutes. Pokemon Home will be available for Scarlet and Violet starting Wednesday. With it, when you connect it the first time, I guess, send a Pokemon from it or to it.
We're gonna go with send a Pokemon either to or from it.
On the phone, you can get the 3 Paldean starters with their hidden abilities.
Yep.
Of
Rusty's input.
Sprigatito with Protean. Waxley with Moxie. And Coco with... What the hell is its hidden ability?
I don't know.
What is Skeletor's hidden ability?
Wait, did he say Skeletor?
Yes,
Yep.
that's what he said.
Until next time.
Hold on.
I know nothing about
Unaware?
Pokemon, so I'm no help.
Well, that's not true. You know that they're pocket monsters.
Oh,
So
That is true.
with it, there is actually a very two interesting features that are going to exist. Hey, old Pokemon players who played Gold and Silver, you remember that trade function where you could take Pokemon and put them in the past game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do that.
about damn time.
You can basically
In a minute, I'm gonna need a minute.
transfer Pokemon between all of the Gen 8 and 9 games as long as that Pokemon existed in the title. AKA, you cannot transfer a Fuecoco into Legends Arceus. It don't exist. You can take a Hisui and Zoroark, move it into Scarlet and Violet, move it back into Legends Arceus, move it out, move it back into Scarlet and Violet, move it out, move it back into Legends Arceus, move it out. You can take a Dialga and take it from Diamond and Pearl and put it into Scarlet and Violet, and then take it and put it in Legends Arceus, and then take it and put it into
We get it.
BDSP.
We get it.
And back and forth this way.
All right. Well, that's Will explaining Pokemon Home for Dummies.
And there's a move relearner.
Oh, they're adding that?
Specifically in the Switch client. So you can't do it from the mobile client, you have to use the Switch client. But you can move relearn because what happens is when you take them on and put it into a game, if the move doesn't exist, it like wipes its moves.
It's the
Oh,
most
shit.
important thing.
So
Ever.
at least in like home, you can reset the moves before moving it into a different game with all moves it's able to know.
So, since we're talking about Pokemon, what else is going on?
This weekend is regionals. And this one entered himself.
I did.
God be with you. I'm sorry. Arceus be with you.
So I need all of my nerd family to please root on my husband.
I will have a sign that says, "Send them to the Shadow Realm, Will. Yugi believes in you."
Here's the problem. I'm not playing the TCG.
What is it? Why does it matter?
Yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh has other games.
It is
Dungeon Dice
all
Monsters.
around a card game. Every Yu-Gi-Oh game is a card game.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know. I just know they have video games.
That's okay.
Dungeon Dice Monsters wasn't.
Shadow Realm. That's fine.
Listen, I'm just gonna scrub out at round 4 and it'll be fine.
Why?
Because I've learned that if I say I'm going to do bad, I astonishingly somehow do better. So if I keep shitting on myself and not get my hopes up and go into this confidently, I will actually be able to do things.
Hey, you wonder what happens if you do get bounced out early? We can chill like the Pokemon Mall that is going to be there.
Yeah, it has like a whole pop-up Pokemon Center and everything. So like, I get my school money hopefully tomorrow, so I'm gonna go on a spree.
I want a fucking Cyndaquil, like a actual full-size Cyndaquil. What?
There's a stare down happening, and I'm confused.
If she thinks I'm not coming home with a Fuecoco plushie, she would be wrong.
And if you think you're spending all your school money, you'd be wrong.
All right. Before we see some domestic violence on the stream tonight.
Oh, here, I got you.
There's already been domestic violence. Have you seen what your dog has done to me?
Oh, good old Rusty.
All right, Carly, are we going to see you next week?
If
Yes.
we don't, I'm gonna hurt her.
That's one hell of a slap. Got to go over a couple states. Just.
I'll make it. Don't worry.
Carly, where can people find you though? Because are you still drawn?
I am. I'm actually doing some crocheting projects right now. But I am doing actually for KineticCon that's coming up in July. I'm doing a whole art project where I am redrawing all the Darkhold spells into a replica Darkhold I'm making.
Oh, that's right. You're going
for
to be
my
Scarlet
cosplay.
Witch.
I'm gonna be Scarlet Witch, but I'm doing a Renaissance take on it. So look forward to seeing those on the nerd page if we're doing pictures and stuff. So
Oh, we always do. Rob, what about you?
Alan, you can
Oh, hold
find
on.
me on Hammerhead Designs on Instagram. I forgot to say that.
Rob, what about you? Because I think Susie smells like a fart or something.
No, the puppy is just being a deviant.
Oh,
Y'all
well.
can't find me anywhere. I'm invisible. I'm in your TV.
Why am I
Hi,
literally
Drax.
looking at you?
Hi, Drax.
Okay, John Cena.
He's John Cena. You can't see him.
Can't see Drax either.
Rob's like, what the fuck? I shouldn't have said
But he's
that.
not standing so perfectly still. He's not still. Look, he's rocking in his chair, so he can't be Drax.
So he's Dwayne Johnson. He's rocking.
We will rock you.
Will, where can people find you? Outside of whipping that candy ass up in Hartford this weekend.
Sitting in front of my Switch tomorrow for the next 15 hours doing nothing but practice battles.
Ow.
That's why I'm playing Mega Man now, so I can so that I cannot play something before my suffering. Except it really won't be suffering, it'll actually be fun, but I will go a little insane playing that many practice battles.
Alright, Susie, what kind of psychopath do you plan on killing now? Okay, you just answered that question. Where can people find you, Susie? Now that we need to find out some bail money.
Jesus.
What? Ethan gave me 1,000-year elixir. What do you want from me?
Oh, there's an Ethan there?
Well,
Here,
he went
there's-
upstairs.
Ethan ran away.
Rude.
Run.
It's okay, I'll torment him when I come down in July.
I know. I have that whole week you're coming down off. I don't know why. What dawned on me to take the Tuesday and Wednesday off as well. I just kind of did.
Yeah, I'm coming down that Saturday. Is it Saturday, I think? I don't remember. I'll have to check
This is
my
where
calendar.
she figures out she took the wrong week off.
No, I
have to
didn't.
look
I
to
made
see
sure.
what You told me. I don't remember.
Yeah, because I'm hijacking the guest room, so.
Make sure Rusty leaves a surprise out front just for you, for old times.
I was just about to say that he's gonna start leaving me surprises.
This bitch.
You probably can find me having a fight with my Cricut because I need to get my Cricut to work. I got a couple things that I have to do and figuring out what I'm dressing as for Kineticon.
Yeah, but you fighting with something ends up usually with that something being broke or fixed.
Normally,
One of the two.
Yeah, there's never like a column A, column B. It's either that one or that one. There's no meh.
In between.
there's no in between.
It's either Garbaggio or, hey, it's working great. Probably better than ever.
So hey, AJ.
Uh-oh. What did I do? I didn't do it, I swear.
Other than rooting for my husband on Saturday, where can people find you?
I know. My best buddy's coming with me. My wife don't want to come though, but that's not bad.
I don't know. Let's go ask Rob Paulson, because I don't think he's coming back to con again.
Hey, you guys, this is 625 here from Lilo and Stitch. Some people think of me as AJ Coppola. I don't care. Just follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, Twitch at NDTA Jalistar15, and Xbox and PSN at AJ All-Star 15. I should have said AJ All-Star, but I'm a sandwich maker. What the hell do I know? Do yourself a favor. Go get yourself a hot fudge marshmallow tuna fish and ham sandwich. All right? Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
All right, everybody. Somebody pulled Rob's tail.
That wasn't me.
That was me.
So, in the comment section below, please write what movies you would like to see us cover, or if there's any series that you think that we should get into. Cause
Merch.
up to your options.
Merch.
Also, yeah, go check out our merch link.
Buy our shit. Actually, that came out really good, Carly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it did. It came out really well.
Very nice if you did. It's not.
You bet I'm gonna be wearing it at con as well, but it might be too hot, so I might just have to have it in my bag.
Or buy a brand new T-shirt for the 3rd anniversary.
Oh, I probably should do that.
Bye, everybody.
Catch us doing Nausicaa. Well, bye.
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 Bodies
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.